Everybody loves a good blooper reel. What we very rarely see are more traditional bloopers in video game form, the ones the creatives intentionally left in to show you what happened behind the scenes, maybe during a specific motion capture session or just to have a big ol' laugh about it. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com and these are 8 video game bloopers the developers left in. Number 8. Destroy All Humans. A game that doesn't take itself too seriously, Destroy All Humans' leftover recordings from all the voice actors' antics were just too priceless to toss aside. While not actually in the story, this blooper reel is included in the extras menu and features 4 minutes of unused dialogue, across a slideshow of hilarious pre-release images. What really makes this pop are the handfuls of impressions these actors throw out, turning in lines as everyone from Rocky Balboa to Smithers and even Mr. Burns.
Sir, I've got a song for you. Damn it, man! Cha-cha-cha, got a million of them.
Number 7. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Teenage me's favourite Star Wars game that actually had a super cool dual pistol firing system I wish was more fleshed out over time, Bounty Hunter has you take control of Jango Fett as he goes through a whole bunch of business to get to the start of Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. Now for this blooper reel, it's genuinely incredible how much care and attention went into animating something most players wouldn't even see and that's not part of the story either. For Bounty Hunter's bloopers, LucasArts were clearly having a blast during development, and custom animated either outtakes that happened during recording using in-game models, or staged entire scenarios just for the reel itself. That means Tamuera Morrison as Jango calling out the prop guy as his blasters aren't working.
Where's the prop man? My blasters are jammed again.
A female Toydarian squishing a dude's head in a doorway, and Clancy Brown making various things up on the spot that were then done using the character of Montrose.
There's something in my nose.
The 2000s were a fascinating time for animation and video games, and it's kinda sad that today, I just don't think a big budget Star Wars game production would ever afford the time and resources to make something so genuinely fun. Maybe the new era of Lucasfilm games can prove me wrong. Number 6. Army Men, Sarge's Heroes. The Army Men series was notorious for reviewing terribly, but seeing an entry in every genre known to man. To that end, I will totally say the 2002's RTS installment was awesome, but I also haven't touched it in about 2 decades. Anyway, what sets Sarge's Heroes apart is that every male character in the game is voiced by the same person, legendary voice actor Jim Cummings. It must have got awfully boring in the studio recording the entire game's dialogue by himself, so in age-old voice actor tradition, improvisation took hold. It seems the sound engineers wound Cummings up and just watched him go, as he comes out with all sorts of random thoughts and one-liners, staying in character and making reference to the game's events. It's essential viewing, so much so that the developers took the time to create fully animated scenes for each of these outtakes.
Go through the portal, then I'll blow it.
With military shooters of today sticking to a very specific tone throughout, here's to the next Call of Duty, Battlefield, or even Far Cry leaving the bloopers in. We all know Michael Mando made up all sorts of stuff when recording Far Cry 3, and it would have been great to hear. Number 5. Eli Noir. There's an argument to be made that the more serious a game is, the less organically it lends itself to outtakes, or at least letting them get out there into the light of day. 2010's Eli Noir, however, proves that even games where confidence in storytelling is everything, they can be made even more lovable by the production being self-aware. The blooper reel for this game is so amazingly well crafted that you could easily be fooled into thinking it's not a blooper reel at all. See, Eli Noir's unprecedented level of motion capture animation meant that the hardware and software was running at all times, even when the actors messed up. While it's not something you take mental note of during gameplay, Team Bondi even mocapped the tongue movements of voice actors too, which makes for some specifically hilarious flubs when actors start stretching their mouths into all sorts of different shapes.
Surrender now and nobody has to...
Eli Noir was a notoriously hard game to make, but seeing this technology auto-render everything happening on set is pretty mind-blowing. Also, if you've never seen a motion-captured sneeze, well, there you go. Number 4. The Salmon Max series, 2006 to 2010. Before Telltale brought us the haunting interactive horror drama The Walking Dead, one of their more popular titles was Salmon Max, an episodic adventure that mixed satirical humor with undercover sleuthing and of course the titular dog and rabbit combo. The series is known for elaborate blooper reels, which feature in all 3 episodes of the game. They're not ordinary outtakes either, as like with Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the animators redesigned scenes to resemble a film shoot, complete with green screens, microphones creeping into shot, and laughter from crew members off camera. Most of these bloopers come from the incredibly verbose and lovable Rabbit Max, whose voice actor William Caston struggled to squeeze out the tongue-twister-like sentences he had to say. So frequently did Caston mess up that in one scene, Sam can be seen flipping Max off with a pixelated paw.
I'd start by taking it out of the display case.
Number 3. Half-Life, the PS2 version. As innovative as the original Half-Life was, the actors behind the various scientist voices were thankfully not all business while recording their lines. In the files of the PS2 version exist a series of beautifully dry outtakes from the traditionally humorless boffins of Black Mesa. Beginning with 2 characters gushing over the game's new and updated graphics, which yes, on PS2 back then these were a step up, we then get to hear a scientist repeatedly call Gordon Freeman Gorman.
Ah, Gorman, there you are. Darn it, let's do it again.
Another sings about his job, and 2 more sit at a huge console while commentating that they have no idea what any of these buttons do.
Any idea what these buttons do?
What's more, some of the outtakes from the expansion Half-Life Decay are present in the released game for all to hear, including Keller's very helpful line of "good job for doing previous stuff, let's get ready to do new stuff." Number 2. Freedom Planet. Who'd have thought that a 2D platformer originally conceived as a Sonic the Hedgehog ripoff would eventually find its own hybrid identity of sci-fi and fantasy, also producing scores of secret in-game outtakes. The unique selling point of these particular bloopers is that they're incorporated right into the game's main narrative, not requiring you to delve into the extras or the game's files to disrupt anything. Instead, like Metal Gear Solid 2's hidden codec dialogue done by hitting the right trigger, push the special attack button during cutscenes and you'll occasionally get to see a version of the scene that went sideways instead. One of the game's main characters, Lilac, is the biggest offender, giving us more mistakes to enjoy than any other character combined. As the text above her cuts off in time with her blunders, clearly this was embraced by the whole dev team. Watching her face change to embarrassment or sheer disbelief is an awesome additional reward for the most observant players. And number 1, Uncharted Golden Abyss. PlayStation Vita owners unite. Yes, all 5 of you, including myself. Because Uncharted Golden Abyss is one of the best in the series, but coming just a month after the headline-stealing Uncharted 3, it meant very little people even acknowledge its existence. And that's a shame, because Sony Bend were clearly having a blast borrowing the IP from Naughty Dog in every respect. To access the best blooper on this whole list, you need to play on crushing difficulty. Considering Uncharted's laser aiming AI, that means you'll be torn to ribbons pretty easy, but get to the Golden Abyss itself and inspect the body of Esteban the Moor. He's an explorer from a long time past who went in search of this particular forgotten place. On lower difficulties, the reaction of Nate and Marissa Chase is par for the course. They inspect the clues and carry on. Playing on crushing though, this happens.
That was not funny.
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, you didn't stay right with me.
You guys!
Giving actress Christine Lakin playing Marissa the fright of her life, the person playing Esteban's corpse jumps up and screams. The laughter you hear afterwards is from crew members away from the microphones, followed by Lakin shouting, "You guys!" Clearly at least Nolan North and the other performer had planned this from the very beginning. I can't imagine seeing this first time through, but it's a brilliant inclusion and one that shows us what fun it can be making these games. Way more video games need to include this stuff, way more. And those are our picks for various video game bloopers that were brilliantly left in. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.